Hi, my freshy goons. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you on day one of Mod 3. You made it to Mod 3, that's pretty exciting. Um, but this humanities course, how we got to now, is very different from Writing for the World, where you did a lot of independent work, you had a lot of chance to be creative and steer the work in your own direction. This is closer to a traditional walk through history, specifically the 19th century, which is the 1800s, 20th century, 1900s, and it's told through the eyes of invention. After we go through this intro to the book we're going to read, I think you'll start to see why we devote a whole class to this. Now, here's a disclaimer about this course. During this course, I'm not going to be your favorite teacher. I know, gasp. This isn't going to be your favorite class. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of writing. But here is what I do think will happen based on students I've taught before. This is the class that you're going to look back on in a couple of years and go, man, I'm glad I had that. I'm a better writer because of this class. So hang in there, do the work, and I promise you a payoff for what you do. Resist the urge to take shortcuts in this class, and I think you'll be glad you did. We do a lot of academic writing and we do world writing also. Um, so I want to start you off just looking at the course page here. You can go to this, read it on your own. It tells a lot of overview about the course. It kind of shows some of the books and videos we have. There's a week at a glance here. Um, this is me planning to have been here, not knowing that I was going to be out all week. And this is, let me just say, this is a great chance for you guys to show that you're no longer the little baby freshman ID students that started the year. You're now people who can handle your business, and I know that you will while I'm gone. And I really appreciate that about you. I can see the maturity all the time. But without further ado, let's get into the course. So we're at how we got to now. And sorry, I should have just gone straight down here to your first card that you have assigned today. I put Tuesday and Wednesday because I'm anticipating this card will take you 2 days of class work, and then anything you don't finish, you'll do Wednesday night for homework. But work through it Tuesday and Wednesday in class together because this course, this lesson, this introduction of the book, kind of sets the tone. Now, hopefully, when you came in today, you got a copy of the intro of the book. The books aren't here yet, as far as I know, and so I came in before Christmas and I made you all little copies. You're welcome. And I'm really glad I did because I didn't know I was going to be out at that time. So, yay, past me. Um, let's move forward. So, this gives you some overview about the book. There's 6 segments. We're going to spend roughly a week and a half on each segment. Um, I say roughly, and we're not going in order that the chapters appear in the book, so don't let that throw you. There's a reason why we picked the order we do, and we'll cover more of that later. And this just tells you a little bit more about what I just told you. But let's get down to business, shall we? So during this video, I'm going to have you pause at different intervals and do these steps so that you can kind of stay together as you do this. So right now, what I want you to do is do just what this says. Pause this and take 6 minutes to watch this video that kind of gives an overview of the text that we're going to be reading all mod. So pause now and watch the video in step one. All right, you're back. So now that you've watched that, you've got a kind of an overview. I'm going to tell you that what we'll do is we'll read each chapter together, and then we're going to watch the documentary with Steven Johnson. Stevie J is going to be one of your favorite or most hated people by the end of this course. People kind of have a love-hate relationship with him, um, but more on that later. The next step, it says 7 minutes. I'm not sure it's going to take you that long, but click on this technology through time. Um, and when you click on it, you'll see that there's a timeline down at the bottom of the page here that starts with 1900. Move the timeline. I don't think I can move it because I have a. Move the timeline up and notice how the inventions change. And resist the urge to skip over reading these little discussions. Almost all of these things are inventions that show up in the book. So take a few minutes and play with that. Pause this video now. All right, so now that you've played with that, hopefully you took the time to discuss with your table group. If you haven't discussed what you saw with your table group or what surprised you about the timeline, pause this and do that now. Otherwise, let's go on to the next step, which is this 2-minute numbering of the paragraphs. Excuse me. Um, so when you came out, you got your text, and it looks like this. It's 8 pages, I think, and it's the introduction to the book. So you need to get that out now. And in the right-hand corner, you're going to put your name. You're going to bring this to class each day for the first part of the course. We're going to work through this introduction. The introduction has a lot of really good things. Some books you kind of feel like you can skip the introduction. I feel like the introduction and the conclusion of this book are really pivotal, which I love. So all you're going to do right now is number the paragraphs. That is as simple as it sounds. You're going to pause this video and then you're going to just put a 1 by the first paragraph. Luckily, these are indented, so it's super easy. So there's paragraph 1, there's paragraph 2, there's paragraph 3. You can actually just look for the indentations, and you're going to write the paragraph number out to the side here on the margin in your actual paper. So you'll need, I should have told you to get a pencil or a pen. And if someone needs to go to the supply closet and get a bunch for everyone, that'd be great. So pause this now and do that. All right, now that you've numbered your paragraphs, I'm gonna think that I'm right in saying there were 16. I'm doing that from memory from about a year ago, but I feel like there's 16 paragraphs in there. If I'm wrong, I could be totally wrong. Maybe there's 32. I don't know. 16 jumps out at me for some reason. All right, so notice I gave you a digital copy of the intro as well because I'm nice like that. Now, the meat and potatoes of this activity is the next section. It's called a 3-word summary. We've written a lot of summaries so far this year. Your summary writing's gotten pretty good. So, you know, in a summary, you are finding a really short and sweet way to recap the main points of the reading or the writing. Sorry, I'm pausing occasionally for coughing fits, but I'm back. Um, So the way this is going to work, the first paragraph you're going to do together, and the teacher's going to read the first paragraph out loud to the whole class. I'm not sure who's going to be in there with you, um, but the teacher will stop when finished. Let's say no teacher came. I know you guys can handle this, and you can do it yourself. So someone's going to volunteer, someone who likes to read out loud and has a good reading, strong voice. Go ahead and read that to everyone. You can handle it. And then as they read, you're listening to them read and you're following along. You can follow along with your pencil, your finger, or just look at it. But there are a couple of words in this first section, this first paragraph, that you probably don't know. Be real honest with yourself and just circle any words you're not 100% sure about. You're not making more work for yourself. You're just noting that there's a new word. All right. So as you listen to the person that's reading, you're circling any unknown words in that one paragraph. Um, Now, when the paragraph is finished being read out loud, you've got 2 minutes to kind of skim through that paragraph again and write in the margin a 3-word summary. That's as bizarre as it sounds. You've got to boil this first paragraph down to 3 words. It is frustrating to do it first, especially a paragraph like this that's pretty specific. So skim through this paragraph and in the margin, right out here on your paper, in the margins, write down 3 words that you think best summarize this paragraph. So, how are you going to do that? You're going to have to boil this down, really distill it down to the 3 most important words. And if you kind of stop, maybe close your eyes and concentrate on what you just heard, you can do it. Now, here's the kicker, there's really no wrong answer. I mean, unless you put wove or something weird. Um, but you could make, as long as you can make a case for your 3 words, go ahead and write them down. So pause this video now and write down your 3 words in the margin of paragraph 1 only. All right, now that you've written down your 3 word summary for paragraph one. Let's say I'll just wing mine here and say mine is machines. Um, I haven't read this one in a minute. Um, book technology, something like that. But then I would make a case for why I chose those. Yours will be way better than that. Yes, I was winging it. So pause the tape now and talk with your table group about your three words. See if some of you got the same three words and see if you got different words. All right, pause. All right, now that you've done the first round, you're on this step here. So you're gonna put a check on that one and then say keep going right here. So each student in the room will have a chance to read one of the paragraphs. There's 16. I think one of the classes has more than 16. So if it comes to your turn to read and you don't wish to read, because that's a real thing and that's totally okay, you just say skip if you don't feel like reading today. And we'll go on to the next person and they can read that paragraph out loud. And you are going to be really generous listeners and remember that when someone's reading out loud, you've listened to me read out loud enough. You know that sometimes I'll trip over a word, make a mistake, say something silly. And that's totally cool and totally expected. So we're not going to flip out or laugh or anything. We're just going to go, yeah, that's a human who is reading. So what you do now is you just keep going. So a student is going to read out loud. And as they read, you're going to circle unfamiliar words, just like you did before. You're going to write your three-word summary in the margin, and then you're going to discuss your summary after each paragraph. So, though, since this is the first time we're ever doing this, be intentional about actually stopping and starting. So, after each paragraph, have a stopping time, and then whoever's running this activity will say, write down your three-word summary, give you a minute or so to do that and think about it, and then share out with your table. Then the next reader will read, and you're going to go like that. And I'd say probably on Tuesday, the first day you do this, you'll probably have about 30 minutes to do this before the end of class. Then you will finish the rest of it the next day. You'll finish the rest of it on Wednesday. Um, Down here, you've got a couple of questions to answer. They're more about how you feel reading out loud. Some people love to do it, some people can't stand it, some people feel really self conscious. Some people are like, man, yeah, I'll do it. It's not my favorite thing. Um, and there's some opportunity for you to tell me some things like that. The student work section is for you to take a picture of your favorite page with your favorite three-word summaries on it because I want to see what you did. One where you really feel like you nailed it, take a picture of the page, upload it to student work. I want to take a look at that. And then when you have this card all the way done, probably on Wednesday, you're going to turn it in and you'll see down here there is a next step card. Also, as you guys read the paragraphs, if I was there with you, we would stop and talk about cool concepts or things that we saw. We would stop when we're doing the three-word summary. So feel free to get into it and have a discussion about what the hummingbird effect really is. All these concepts are going to come up a lot. So I've talked enough for today. Send me a little message on Slack if you want to say hey, because I definitely miss you guys. And I hope everybody had a great break. And also, if you have questions, send them to me on Slack. All right. Love you guys. Bye.